guys, well, today's the day we're finally gonna be doing the first major upgrades to the 2JZ E36. So to those that haven't seen, I recently picked up this E36 right here. This is gonna be my new drift car. And for the most part, everything on this car is set up and dialed, but there were a few things that it was missing. First thing being is the M3 rear end and also the hydro. So that's the first thing on our to-do list for today. Eddie ended up parting out his white car. So if you guys saw in my last video, we did a few runs with this car, and this one specific clip right here, you could see Eddie turning up his boost. And we did a few runs right after that. The car held up, and then the other day, Eddie took this thing out for some fun. What happened, Eddie?
I just say somebody was sitting on the limiter too hard.
Yeah, my boy turned up the boost, was sitting on the limiter for a little too long, and floated a valve, so this is what the car looks like now. He decided to do a full part out on this thing, and that's where I'm getting most of the parts. So he did have the M3 trailing arms on this car, and the problem is the car currently has 5x114 hubs, and these hubs are a little smaller and they don't fit in the M3 trailing arms. So I ended up buying new hubs from Villains. They are 5x120 and 5x114. So that's the first step. We're gonna get them pressed into the new trailing arms right now. We also got some new bearings. But yeah, unfortunately, this is the end of the white vert. Now I'm just stealing parts from it. So this is where I got the black dash and the center console as well. So this thing lived a decent life, and now a lot of parts from this car will live in this car. Once we finish the rear end, if we do have time today, I'm also planning on installing my SLR kit, but we'll see if we have time for that. We might have to push it to another day. First things first, let's tear into the rear end, drop these trailing arms, and yeah, let's hope this goes smooth. So quick little update with where we are at. We got the new bearings and hubs pressed into the M3 trailing arms, and then we got the non-M3 trailing arms removed and one of the M3 trailing arms installed on this side. I just have to finish buttoning everything up. But yeah, here's what it looks like so far. So here are the Villains hubs. These are 5x120 and 5x114, so I'm super stoked to have that. And then we have Seems Legit Garage dual caliper brackets, and yeah, that's pretty much it for this entire setup. And figured I could show you guys a quick comparison with the M3 and non-M3 stuff. So don't quote me on everything that I say right now, because I am new to E36s, and this is just what I visually see myself. So what we have here is the non-M3 trailing arm, non-M3 axle, and then we got the M3 axle. So as for the axles, I honestly thought that the M3 axle, at least the shaft was gonna be a little beefier, but honestly it looks very similar. The only differences I see are on the ends here. So as you can see, the M3 one is a lot beefier. And then the trailing arm itself, there honestly isn't much of a difference. Here's the M3 one. The only thing that really gives it away is the M stamp right here. But besides that, I think they are pretty similar. And then as for the diff, the stubs themselves, as you can see, non-M3, M3, the M3 one is a lot bigger. So the good thing about it is they're very easy to swap out. They literally just pop right out of the diff. So I just got to get this second one in, and we should be all good to go. After we button everything up, the very last step is going to be to drill the rotors, because the rotors that Eddie had on his M3 trailing arms are 5x120. So once we get to that, I'll show you guys how we're going to do that, and the whole process for that should be pretty simple. But yeah, let's finish buttoning up the rest of the trailing arms. Both trailing arms are in. Everything is pretty much buttoned up. So when I ordered the hubs from Villains, he also had a 3D file to print like a little jig. So that's exactly what I did here. My wife owns a 3D printer, so the jig is unfortunately pink, but that doesn't really matter. It actually turned out pretty sick. So what you have here is like these little nubs that pop right into the rotor. So here's the M3 5x120 rotor. You pop the nubs into the rotor like that. It gives you the perfect spot where to drill the 5x114. So we used a little center punch, made our markings. Now Eddie's gonna slowly go at it. We're gonna drill this thing right out. All right, rotors are drilled. Let's go throw them on and see if it lines up. Let's see what we got. Looks good. Next step right now is to do the angle kit. So some of the boys pulled up. We got Mr. Cool Car here, already wrenching away.
Show the controller, bro. Don't even show them the well, bro. Look at the controller, bro.
Dude, so with these wheels, this is how much it was rubbing my control arm. It literally ate into it. So I think with SLR, it might be a little better. Eddie was saying it might clear.
Yeah.
It might clear, so.
But it'll be more angle also.
That's true, that's true. I wasn't planning on going to SLR this soon. I honestly was just gonna keep the car as is and run it with that knuckle adapter, but I don't know how to say this. I wasn't gonna talk about this, but I figured it'd be a good idea to just explain it. So one of Eddie's nephews actually passed away earlier this year. He was 3 years old and he passed away in his sleep. And my cousin actually asked me if I was willing to document the memorial for them because I do media stuff on the side, to which I said of course. I really wanted to help them out in some way, and I was expecting nothing in return, but they wanted to get me something, and I'm guessing they reached out to Eddie and asked what I would need for one of my cars, and they decided to get me this SLR kit, which is wild. I wasn't expecting anything, and just to accept a gift like this it's really I don't really have words for it. I don't really know how to explain the feeling, but I just want to say thank you to Bogdan and Agnes for doing this. You guys really didn't have to, but the way I look at it is a little piece of Henry's gonna live on forever in this car and in the future. Whenever I look back at this video and watch it, we'll always remember little Henry. And yeah, with all that being said, thanks again, Bogdan and Agnes, and let's get this thing installed. And when they actually got this thing for me, it was actually for my black car. It was before I got this red car, so it is an M3 kit, and one of the parts is slightly different, but Eddie's car was a non-M3, and I'm just gonna steal that part from this car, because this car also had SLR, so the rest of it should button up perfectly fine. But yeah, I'm really excited to have this. Like I said, wasn't expecting to run SLR on the car so soon, but here we are. I guess let's go get it installed, and we'll see how this goes. That's crazy. While I'm over there yapping, the boys tore right into this thing. David, what do you think? What do you think? Well, the current setup, that's not good?
No, of course not. Of course it's not a good setup. It drove like garbage.
So David drove the car recently, and he said the steering needed a lot of work. So SLR should definitely help. I know you're not a fan of SLR.
It was a mixture of...
Oh, the end link is too big?
The sway bar end link's connected to the coilovers, and the caster was...
I see. Either way, we're pulling all of this off. Let's throw SLR in.
Are you gonna pick up some tools?
What? Yo, cameraman. Cameraman just hand stay clean.
Alex, okay. No, turn it off. Okay.
Listen real quick. No, keep the camera rolling.
What?
That means we're getting paid. If you skip...
Yeah, you're getting paid. I'm buying the parts from you, buddy. Car is officially complete. Shout out to the boys. Thanks, G.
You know how much you got to backfill?
This would take so much longer if I was doing it all on my own, so big shout out to Eddie for letting me use his shop and helping out with the whole install.
This thing is really transformed, I think.
For sure, dude. I'm excited for you to try driving it and see like what difference it is, because you said it needed a lot of steering work, so once this thing gets aligned, you'll take it out for a rip. And
everyone comment down below. Tell this guy to get rid of these KFs to get some one piece, dude.
Or he's trying to talk me into getting rid of these wheels He wants me to go more battle like his car out there.
It's one piece.
Yeah, no, I feel it, because as soon as I threw these on, I literally felt such a big difference in the steering. Like when I had the R33 wheels on there,
Yeah.
steering is way lighter.
Did you tell him that it does not clear the frame actually?
No, I did not.
The tire just goes straight on the frame.
The tire does touch the frame at lock, so that's another reason he's like, get rid of these. So that's probably the move. Honestly, I am probably gonna get rid of these. I just want to find some other wheels first, so. Yeah, we'll see.
The inner stance nation of Alex cannot.
This
get
guy
rid
is
of these
just,
KFs.
yeah. I really love this look, but he's right. We gotta go more function. Alright guys, so it's been about a few months since we last touched the E36. Life has just been super busy lately. I did have a second child, so that's kind of been my priority, but I'm finally back in the garage today to try to make some more progress on the E36. So what we did last was we installed that angle kit at Eddie's shop, and as soon as we did that, the car sat about an inch lower, so we had to raise it about an inch just for me to be able to drive the car home, and that drive home was super sketchy. I had no wipers, it was raining, the alignment was absolutely whack, but we made it home just fine. And once I got home, I started trying to dial in the fitment just to make sure I don't have any rubbing issues. And honestly, the VSKFs are just way too aggressive on the front of this car. I think they're like 10.5s, and I'm not even sure what the offset is, but it was rubbing my sway bar, it was rubbing my frame, and the only way to avoid that was to run a pretty big spacer, and those wheels were aggressive as is with no spacer. So I ended up throwing on the R33 style wheels, and these are 17x9. I think they're like plus 12 or plus 15, and even these wheels were having some rubbing issues. So what I did was I ordered some PBM spacers. I'm currently running a 15 mil. And if anyone's looking for spacers for their E36, check out PBM. They give you a lot of flexibility. I think they're some of the best spacers on the market. You could run anything from like a 3, 5, 7, 12, 15 up to 30. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. And what I also did was I went up to 215/45. I had 40s on here before, and I wanted to fill in some of the gap from raising the car. So this is what the car currently looks like. I think it looks pretty cool, but honestly a little too beefy, so I did get some 215/40s. I'm gonna step down to those soon. Yeah, the plan for today is to finally get the hydro installed on this car. So there's a fabricator about an hour north. We're gonna hit the road now, get this thing welded in, and finally button things up on the E36. Alright, bracket is done. Here's a quick little mock-up with the little shift boot in there. Obviously nothing's bolted in, but this is how it's gonna sit. Pretty stoked on how this turned out. Alright, shout out Luis, thank you bro, appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Now I just gotta go home, get it hooked up, bleed the system, and we're ready to rip.
All right, well, as soon as I left the fab shop, I got home and noticed that the car had a pretty bad oil leak, so I figured it was time to do the rear main seal. I ordered a new seal, went to my boy David's shop. We got the transmission off and we found that the oil was actually not coming from the rear main seal. It looked like it was coming from the input shaft seal on the transmission. So I ended up ordering a new input shaft seal and having to wait another few days, but we finally got it replaced and cleaned up the bell housing and everything as best as we could. We also had to clean the clutch disc a little bit because when I was driving to the fab shop, it did start slipping. I'm guessing some oil just got on the disc, but either way, we got it all cleaned up. We got the car back together. I drove it home. The clutch was not slipping. And so far there are no oil leaks, so that's a good thing, but we'll find out after we drive the car some more. At that point, Eddie came through and helped me bleed the hydro, so that's all good to go. And I did finish putting my interior back together just now, and I'm super happy with how it all turned out. And at this point, I was trying to do the interior swap. I am planning on doing the black interior, but we don't have time to do it in this video. I don't want to drag it out and make it super long, so we'll have to do that another day. But the car is ready for its first track day, so that's the next thing we're going to be doing. I think there's a track day in about a week or two, so super excited for that. And with all that being said, that's going to be it for this video. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you guys in the next one.